The reason I like X so much is that X is actually my hub for content. I'm not gonna stop going on X, and Elon continues to put more and more stuff on there to make it more and more viral and just continue to improve it overall.
When they were making 6 figures in a month from, me writing tweets, I was like, okay, we got something here.
First thing you don't want to do if you're just DMing people on Twitter is just DM them with an ask. The amount of people that have is like, hey, can we hop on a call? No. No, we can't. Thanks for the ask though. I think compliments are a great way to start, like, hey, I love this thread. Don't just say, hey, I love your stuff. Point to a specific thread that you liked and then explain why.
The good way that I look at this, and because I think of content and ads are like, they're very much one and the same. And what you had said with, like, here are the results, or here's like a case study, here are the results, like join if you want. It's very much like the entire piece of content is the ad. But the way I've started to look at it is you think of it like a TV show and a commercial. And it's like, if you're giving a really good TV show, which is you're giving really good content up front, like if you're a fitness coach and you give really great, think like knees over toes guy. I've been following him because I have a knee problem, right? He does amazing content on like rehabbing your knee and workouts, right? And it's just amazing. You're going to go for the content. And then he also, it's like, by the way, I have this like program.
I consume X more than any other platform personally. And I, on the fly, create on X. So 100% of the tweets that are on X are me in the moment, just tweeting them out. I heard something on a meeting, someone said something, and I think of a pithy way to say it, and then I shoot it out.
When it comes to the content you do post, you want to be posting your personal experiences and whatever expertise that you can offer. The most important thing on X is to be unique, but to be valuable. So if you can post something that's unique to you and unique to your lifestyle, you'll be able to stand out more than all the other copy-paste accounts that are trying to do what you're doing. I can guarantee you that going from 0 to 1,000 followers is going to take probably the same amount of time as it takes you to go from 1,000 to 10,000 followers. That being said, once you hit 1,000 is where the fun begins. There was some old advice that I once heard: if you don't post, you die. Every single day you need to be posting.
But here's an interesting tidbit for X users. It's a little bit more of a silo, but the people who are on X tend to be really hardcore. And so the average X user spends 34 minutes per day on the platform, which is about half of some of the other platforms, but still not bad at all comparatively.
When I talk about networking on Twitter, I'm talking about getting into engagement groups, getting friends, getting people in DMs, and joining little communities. Another thing you can do is connect with big accounts, join their Twitter spaces, DM them that you appreciate them, mention them in threads, or even buy their products. A lot of times what this is going to do is they're going to retweet your threads, comment on your stuff, or maybe even follow you back. This gives you a massive boost on the algorithm. And everybody knows that the big accounts on every social media platform is like the cool kids lunch table. Everybody wants to get into the groups and grow with each other, and no one knows how to get in.
There's lots of people that have 1,000 person followings, 8,000 person followings, and make multiple millions of dollars a year on Twitter because they're super niche down in terms of the types of topics they talk about.
There's a couple of different content types on X that you're going to want to be aware of: a post, a thread, a long form post. These are really the 3 core posts that you can use on X to grow. You want to take advantage of the fact that X is the everything app. Not only can you post words, but you can post pictures, videos, voice recordings, and more. If you're already posting short form video on TikTok and Reels and YouTube Shorts, repurpose them to X. A feature that not a lot of people know about is immersive video consumption on X. So make sure that if you're creating video to maximize it and use it on X as well. We've already seen people like Tucker Carlson post full-length episodes of his show on X, and we've even seen Apple TV post exclusive pilot episodes in full on X. So really treat X like the everything app. It's multimedia, it's voice, it's video, it's text. You want to be putting everything out there. A general rule of thumb is to post 2 to 3 times a day at least, on top of doing replies.
We don't really have a lot of team dedicated to X. It's pretty much just me, and my team takes what I put there and then sprays it everywhere else.
On X, I might say, if you want to grow, you can, on this platform, you could do this. Whereas on LinkedIn, it'd be, if you want to grow on Twitter, do this. So it's kind of like, I always change the context, but I definitely keep it more professional. Most of our clients are going to have much more professional content on LinkedIn versus Twitter might be a bit more casual, a bit more loose. And I think that's just the nature of the person consuming it. You know, the average person scrolling LinkedIn is probably sitting either at their job or looking for a job, or like the context of why they open that app's different.
So your ability to repurpose all the stuff you put on X is super high. Our percentage of traffic that we get to our site is 6.12%. And if you look at how many people I have on Twitter, it's about 6% of my total subscribers. And so it's about 1-to-1 in terms of the ratio. Like it's pulling its weight in terms of conversion. Even though this is a short form platform, compared to TikTok, the average session duration on my site from someone from X is still 4 times higher than TikTok. So it's over 30 something seconds is what people do from X on my site. And for that reason, I give X an A rating for me.
I see a lot of people talking about content, and I kind of developed what's called the pesto pillars. And these are really the 5 content pillars that not only would you want to put out for your clients, but for yourself in order to not only attract clients, but also to build a personal brand that's long lasting. So we're gonna go through the 5 right now. So the first pillar is personal, and this is the P. Personal tweets are anything related to your story, your background, behind the scenes, family life, etc. This is what's going to build the personal in that personal brand. And I have some examples here. Many people you may know. Did JK give a class here yet? I know he was maybe giving a class. Okay, so you know JK, obviously good friend of mine. We have a podcast together. I actually convinced him to post a lot of this personal stuff. But this is really the core pillar, and there's a reason it's the first pillar. You want to make sure you're building a personal brand and not just a brand. Especially in 2024, people resonate with people, and this is probably the most important brand when it comes, the most important pillar when it comes to building a personal brand. So again, this is your personal stories, behind the scenes, etc., family life, vacations. You actually want to be posting this stuff because what it's going to do, it's going to put a face on your brand, and people are going to ultimately buy from people that they like and people that they resonate with. And you want to be putting this stuff out. Otherwise, you're going to get drowned in a crowd of people writing case study threads, and I did this and I did that and I did this. But if you don't have a face on your brand, you're never going to resonate with anyone. So make sure you're including this. Pillar number 2 is going to be expertise. So expertise is really the meat and potatoes of building authority. So when it comes to authority, and I put some 2 stars here, but these are some of the different kinds of tweets and threads and content you're going to want to create. It's going to be how-tos, frameworks, listicles, mental models, etc. And the reason I put these stars here, there was a study done, I believe it was between December 2023 and January 2024. The 2 highest performing types of text-based content on the internet are how-tos and listicles. This is indescribable across blogs, SEO, everything. How-tos and listicles are the top 2 performing pieces of text-based content. And then apart from that, it's all different types of video that outperform them. So those are really the core 2 that you want to be focused on when it comes to expertise content. And I have some examples here from more people you probably know: Dan Go, Cody Sanchez, Jeremy Moser, partner of mine. These are really going to be your how-to, your 5-step frameworks, your mental models for how people can implement the expertise that you have. So if you're a writer, one that I did in the past was how to write headlines. You could do how to write hooks. You can do how to do this, how to drive X result. One thing that I'm usually doing is how to make money on X, how to actually make 100K a month on X, how to actually write content that makes money on X. So these are going to be your how-tos, and this is how you're going to be showing people that you're the expert. Pillar number 3 is going to be social proof. So this is the other part of authority that a lot of people miss. And I'm going to get into this a couple times. You actually have to get results to have social proof. I know a lot of people don't talk about this, but getting clients is one thing, but keeping them is really the main thing. So this is where you're going to be posting the social proof that you have. Case studies, client wins, testimonials. And if you don't have any clients or case studies or testimonials, you need to be finding every little thing that you could possibly put out there for a case study or a testimonial. So for me, when I got started out and I had 2,000 followers, 500 followers, 3,000 followers, I was putting how I gained those followers. I was putting how I was writing the content that got me this result. And I was slowly building up incrementally better and better case study. So what I like to call it is really, it's case study arbitrage or case study stacking. You're essentially, your entire goal as a writer when you first start is to build a case study or a client win or a testimonial, and then use that to get another client. And then you use that client to get a better case study. And then you use that case study to get a better client, and so on and so forth. So you want to be case study stacking. And this is how you're going to get bigger and bigger clients, higher and higher paying clients, higher retainers, and eventually rev shares and all sorts of big deals that I'm sure you guys have talked about. So this is really one of the cores of how I was able to get clients. And I'm going to talk about this later in the presentation when we talk about inbound lead gen. But social proof, extremely important. I got a couple examples for you here. Next is going to be trending. And these last 2 are really pillars that no one talks about. And that's why I think it's important to know. So this is going to be trending. The trending pillar is how you're going to be taking advantage of SEO. I know a lot of people on here probably get frustrated. They write content, it doesn't get any views. They put out a video, it doesn't get any views. Well, one of the ways you can combat not getting views is taking advantage of search engine optimization. So, what's trending in my industry? What's trending in the industry? What's a popular topic right now? So, I've gotten some examples here. I don't know if you guys were around when ChatGPT first came out. I know I was, but everybody was writing ChatGPT threads. It was everything. It was the easiest possible way. I think I gained like 4,000 followers in the ChatGPT era. And it's because you're taking advantage of what's trending because it's going to have the most organic searches in terms of content. So not only for you and your clients, but you want to be writing ChatGPT, AI when that's popular. Or when Apple Vision Pro came out, you write Apple Vision Pro things. Or when this, I don't know if you guys saw the Mark Zuckerberg thing where he came out and was doing this like weird robotic thing at UFC. But if you guys know anything about Jesse Pujji, he's one of the biggest accounts in probably the SaaS space. Even he is taking advantage of the trending pillar. So really important. So you want to ask yourself kind of what's trending in my industry? What can I look for that I can take advantage of right now to get those organic impressions? And one practical thing you can do here, and I think Alex Hormozi talks about it, is essentially write down like 3 or 4 of the pillars that are kind of in your industry and just Google them. So for me, it's fairly easy with Elon Musk and Twitter. It's fairly easy to Google it and find one of 1,000 articles bashing it. I can just pull up any one of those articles and give my opinion on it or write about it or talk about it. And I'm going to get much more organic reach than if I just write about anything else. So taking advantage of the trending pillar, really important for not only you, but also your clients, especially when you're smaller and you're trying to get those, you're just grinding for those impressions, you're grinding for those followers. So really important pillar. The last pillar is going to be opinions. So this is probably the second most important one when it comes to actually building a personal brand. You want to be giving your honest opinions on things in your industry. So one thing that people don't talk about enough is what they actually think about certain topics. What makes you different? What is your personal opinion on your industry? So one thing that I talk about very often, everybody, especially last year, everybody was hating on writing kind of viral threads. They would call them platitudes. So one thing that I came out and took a stance on, and you really want to draw a line in the sand, and I took a stance on is you should talk about platitudes. You should do viral frameworks, and you should do what's proven to go viral. And then the caveat to that is that you add your personal experience, your personal touch to it. And I even added examples here where it's like you can Google, top 10 books or something like that. And you're going to see a video from Alex Hormozi, Iman Gadzhi, Patrick Bet-David. Every single big person in the industry has made the same video, but they added their own unique spins to it. So that was kind of the opinion that I came out for. I got another one here. If you know Nick Huber, he's kind of known for almost every tweet's an opinion. But it's one of the ways he's been able to build such a massive audience. And what it does when you put an opinion out there is you're drawing a line in the sand and you're basically saying, hey, to the audience and saying, if you agree with me, you're going to like this and you're probably going to follow me. Now you're going to be on my side. You're going to join my audience. And if you disagree with me, you're going to be in the comments and you're going to be doing engagement and you're going to be helping me get more reach. So it's a win-win situation. So it also could be a little bit dangerous. So you want to be making sure that you're putting out actual honest opinions, things that you actually believe. You're not just trying to engagement farm, because quick way to destroy a brand is to put out an opinion you don't actually believe in, and then you just get canceled or something like that. But if you actually believe the opinion, then stand your ground. So be careful with this one.
How do you know when and if it's worth it to expand into other platforms?
Yeah. So for other platforms, it's a couple things. So there's 2 kinds of clients. There's the client who is native to X and that's their first platform. So if they're that client, then in my opinion, you need to hit $20,000 to $30,000 a month before you can even think about going to other platforms, because that's really your validation phase. Granted, it also depends on kind of what your offer size is and what your niche is. That being said, for like a typical how to make money offer, that is like $30,000 a month plus just on Twitter is like, all right, maybe you can now start to go into other platforms, because basically the way it works is you'll go up to $30,000 a month plus. You'll need to hire a closer, because if you're getting 4 or 5 calls a day, you pretty much have no time to do anything else if you're founder closing at that point. So you hire a closer, they take your time back. Then you can now use that newfound time to go and do video. And basically once you're above, and then all you're ever focused on is video. That's pretty much what it looks like for someone who's native to X. The other person is the person who's already doing other platforms and they're coming to X as like an additional platform. At that point, they're already doing them. So Usually, I've never met anyone who's LinkedIn native. So usually it's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and then they want to go to X, and then the last platform that they ask about is either email or LinkedIn. In that case, we'll tell them how to do it right away if they want to, but most of the time they're just like,